Shakespeare said, "Thou hast not youth nor age, but as it were, after dinner sleep, dreaming of both." Dreams are a funny thing, and it's often the source of my thoughts, my discoveries. I've always painted, I've always drawn. I had a big break in my life. Became a sculptor on 2001: A Space Odyssey, way back when, working with Mr. Kubrick. Great pleasure. Went on working in films, kind of got stuck in it. Became a newsman. Spent a lot of time in the Middle East. But I always swore that I would get out of that and get back to my painting. Out of the agitated life, stop rushing around the world, stay here, live here, make a studio and paint. I think it's still hung on to me, because one of the first things I painted is this painting here, back in '95. And it kind of recalled some of those dreams I had about still being there. Most of them were bad, but this one wasn't. This one is, I dreamt of myself as being a painter somewhere a long time ago, and I think the fact that I'd visited Egypt, amongst other places, influenced me in that. You can see these pyramid shapes in there, and the brushes in there, and the painter working, squeezing out from his tube paints. I don't suppose they had tubes in those days, did they? And the very odd thing is I found myself making this shape here and trying to make it into something definitely very Egyptian. If you look very carefully, it is a figure, but if you stand back and step back and close your eyes, this is also a head, a face, a nose, a mouth, and that kind of beard that all those Egyptian pharaonic figures had, even if they were girls, you know. So this was like a portrait of a pharaonic figure, you know, and the dream thereof written into the words as they always were, and all those symbols of some ancient time. And here we're talking about maybe starting this in 2005, 10 years later, and carrying to the present day. So this, like many of my paintings, has been painted over more than 10 years. Again, a dream. There is a dream figure. There is me down on Little Earth having a dream, and it is a kind of an Icarus-like dream, because there is a hammock here which you cannot see because it's been painted out. But the feeling of the hammock is that you're slung in something, free slung in something, you're weightless, and that's a feeling like you must have had when you were in the womb. Very much dream, womb, all that sort of feeling is very in all of our minds and all of our brains, whether we know it or not. So he's here, this Icarus has gone up to this sun, but this sun isn't even round, it's oval. It's purposely more egg-shaped. It is again womb-like, and the heat there, and here he's dreaming. The heat comes into him, he's there, he's reading, and he's fallen asleep, as I often do myself. And there is him down on Earth, the little me, dreaming of it. So life progresses between 95 and 2012, when I finished this painting. A lot of time goes by, but the dream goes on forever. And that's where much of the inspiration of my work comes from. Cameraman? Oh! Oh, never forget the camera. This is take 42. It will be out of focus soon, guys.